Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We have a guaranteed champion coming tomorrow, actually, and it is an epic champion. Here we go. Tuesday, the 6th of August, a guaranteed champion event. Summon champions using void shards, and you're guaranteed to get Inquisitor Shamael by your 30th void shard, and it's active for 72 hours. So this will not help you at all with the fusion, totally separate to that. But this is an interesting one. I definitely think some people are going to be interested about this. Shamael, brilliant single target damage dealer and very solid for Hydra. So I actually put out a team yesterday, which was like a sort of free-to-play champion team where we've got 3 fusions from this year. Wixwell behind my head there, Scorid and Aestrid, alongside Ugo and Shamael. And then with Thea as well. So 2 epics, 3 fusions, and then the Doom Tower one with no blessing turned on. Obviously, he's got the 6-star. We didn't turn that on. Interesting team. Scarlet and Thea, very replaceable. They're just for damage, though you would obviously want Hex, obviously, in that team somewhere. If you do remove more so the Scarlet, I would say. Shamael, he's great. What does Shamael do that's so good? Number one, he does decent damage. His damage isn't the best, but it's good. You know, it's a decent contribution to the team. But the main thing he brings, really, is this, that whenever an ally receives Fear or True Fear, it instantly removes the debuffs and they actually changed the text on this. It should be fills the team leader's turn meter by 15%. We've got a bit of a grammatical error right there, but they've updated the text. This used to say that it filled the person had the debuff removed. They've actually changed it. I guess it was probably harder for them to fix the bug, and they said, screw it. We'll just change the text, which is fine with me. I don't mind either way. I'm just glad it's fixed. I hate when skills trying to say something. They're going to do something, but then they don't do what the skill says. That is always, to me, the worst crime. So having a solution, any solution is better than no solution. So that's cool. But yeah, this is great. So he's sort of turn meter boosting your lead person, but against Head of Torment, it just makes it very easy. That is, for me, the biggest thing about Shamael. For an accessible champion, he makes dealing with Head of Torment, the Fear Head, and Hydra just so easy. And I know a lot of you only play on auto, right? You just want to put your team in, have it work the first time on pretty much auto gameplay, and that's it. Shamael fits that mold really, really well. Now, there are alternatives, but I thought it was funny. I saw a lot of comments on this one, which was never pulled Shamael or Ugo. That's rough. Shamael, I feel like Ugo was sort of like almost the man-eater of Hydra, just very accessible. I saw a bunch of people saying that they never... My supports hit harder than the nukers. But yeah, like we have like someday I'll get Shamael or a Bug Hog Pad here saying same shit. 1.5 years in, never got him. Well, there we go. 3 years in and no Shamael. Now, I did mention some replacements here, which are good as well. You don't need to run a Shamael, and obviously the top teams in the game don't run a Shamael. But yeah, he makes it easy. He makes it comfortable. Some replacements that you could obviously consider for this team. I think Rector Drath, for me, is the number 1 budget replacement because she's really a must build and she's available via promo code. But she gives you Perfect Veil for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. You slap her into a Reflex set, and this cooldown becomes very reliable, especially in this particular team over here, where you've got a Wixwell who's extending buffs, right? Rector Drath, brilliant replacement. You could also, in the same faction, funny enough, you could run a Doom Priest with good speed, cleansing at the start of every turn. For higher end champions, I'd say like a Tuhanarak is a great example. Tuhanarak, sort of better Doom Priest, right? Doom Priest, you'd probably put her in Guardian set, I'd say. Tuhanarak, you'd much prefer like Protection or maybe Feral. But 9-piece of both, I should say. But yeah, Tuhanarak's a great one. Obviously, we've got newer champions then, such as Firal, who's like way better, or Glaikid, or Duchess, right? They're your more legendary options. Rector, Doom Priest, much preference to Rector, are your more budget epic options. But yeah, Inquisitor Shamael, great budget option for epics. Now, well, that being said, if you're going to do 30 Void Shards, suddenly it becomes not so budget, or at least it could be stretching your budget. I don't know. It's up to you if you've got 30 Void Shards. I think he's a great champion. If I didn't have him as a, someone that's I don't mind spending a bit on the game, I probably would do it. Obviously, for me, I'm not going to do it. I have more than enough Shamaels. Empowering him is really not that big of a deal, honestly. I'm obviously not going to do this. I'm definitely saving my voids, but he's decent. I actually think he's somewhat comparable to Scarred, really, where they're both sort of now easily accessible source of Hex in the case of Scarred, easily accessible source of anti-torment in Shamael. They're both decent, but not like top tier for Hydra, but they're both good and can do good work. So yeah, if you're a spender and you don't have Shamael, I'd recommend probably picking him up, unless you're a really big spender, in which case you might eclipse the need for the champion. Personally, I still do use Shamael on some teams. I do. So I think he's a great character. How would you build Shamael? What would you do with him if you do get him? I don't actually have the best build on mine. I think that the second one is in a somewhat better build. I'd say Reflex is really good. Obviously, nowadays, Merciless would be ideal, really, where Merciless is going to give you some nice damaging stats, some speed, and a 30% chance to decrease the skill cooldown, which is pretty good. So you'd be looking for that. He already fully ignores defense on his A2, by the way. When you have 3 buffs, he fully ignores defense. So you don't need any defense ignore stacked on top of it. But his A1 can do a reasonable bit of damage, so some ignore defense isn't too terrible. And for his blessing, if he's 6-star, I think Cruelty is pretty nice. I also think Phantom Touch is really good. They'd be the two I'd be mostly looking at for him. Cruelty or Phantom Touch. I actually don't remember what I've got on my other Shamael. I think he's still in Cruelty, yeah, but if I had him 6-star, I might actually switch him over to Phantom Touch for that extra damage. But yeah, he's pretty good for deleting Siphies in Doom Tower waves. If you're stuck on those, he can just one-shot Siphi because he's got a massive single target damage. And yeah, that is Shamael. I run him with these masteries for Hydra, Giant Slayer, that sort of stuff. And yeah, he's good. This is my main Shamael. He's in sort of random sets. Reflex or Merciless would be the best. Impulse even. You want to get him cooldown reduction because most of his damage does come from the A2. So cooldown reduction is really good. Nice that you don't have to invest your Savage really onto him. You could, but you don't need to. Same with Merciless. You could, but you probably have better chance to put it on. So that's it. Let me know. What do you think? Are you going to go for this guaranteed Shamael? I think a bunch of you probably would. And yeah, you could this sort of comp works well. I mean, Wixwell, Aestrid, Ugo really are the core 3 because they cover all the utility that you need for a team. It just works great. Shamael is an easy slot in if you don't have a Rector Drath. I think him or Rector work perfectly well. Even Doom Priest could, or anyone who does that sort of role. And then in this team, again, any 2 damage dealers. Like we did this test and we found Thea was grand as an accessible champ. She's okay. But even being powered up by Scarage, she's not crazy, right? You could run any damage dealer. Really like a Whisper in there. Scarred is good. You could run, again, any damage dealer. You just want to make sure you've got Hex, right? So if you don't have any Hex champion, you'd really want to get Cursed set on like Wixwell or Aestrid or something. Kind of essential. Hex, as we see with Scarred, it adds so much damage to the team. It's really valuable. You don't want to miss it. So there you go. There's a nice little team. Interesting event. It's definitely an interesting one. I think it's quite a niche audience. It's really the more earlier game spenders, I think, is who this targets. I think a free-to-play is unlikely to have enough void shards to be able to get a Shamael. And I think, even a free-to-play late game player might, but they probably wouldn't need it. And yeah, it's interesting. I think it's more of an early to mid-game spender sort of event, but it's pretty good. Or if you're a big saver, there you go. Get yourself a Shamael. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.